Good afternoon, traders. This is Kevin Craney with RGO Futures with your afternoon financial and market update. Well, markets trading whipsawed this afternoon. Really, we see a lot of talk and chatter coming out of Washington, D.C. on the negotiations on the fiscal cliff. And markets are really going to be beholden to politics and politicians in general and what the final outcome of these negotiations are. And that was proof positive today. We had some good GDP numbers that came out earlier this morning. That certainly helped boost things earlier in the morning. Revisions to GDP up to 2.7% for the third quarter. That helped things out. Jobless claims looking a little bit better as well for the week. So that's certainly helping things out as well. Some housing data. Housing been the strong point here lately, and that didn't fail again today. So certainly from an economic perspective, a little bit of better numbers to give us some hope and lift markets earlier this morning. But then came the politicians out, and again here we are at a stalemate, what appears to be a stalemate. We have both sides of Congress who really cannot agree on doing one thing or the other. Is it raising taxes? Is it more spending cuts? Is it a mix of both, bringing everyone together to agree? We're still not even close. So markets are very beholden to that. We see that during the course of the day where equities start to sell off. But what's interesting is treasuries seem to be rallying. But when the equity markets rally, treasuries continue to rally. So we don't see money flowing away from the treasury market and back into what we would consider more of a risk asset class. So certainly there are still buyers for treasuries out there keeping these yields low, as well as the Fed. So certainly what we want to watch is what's going to happen out of Washington, D.C. with the fiscal cliff. I think you will continue to see bonds chop around in the trading range that they're currently in. You're not going to see a lot of momentum to one side or the other until you have some kind of clear picture as to what is actually going to happen with the fiscal cliff come toward the end of the year. Will it be a short-term fix kicking the can down the road into the new year to get an eventual long-term deal, or will we all come together having a kumbaya moment and fix the problem, and so we can all move on and think about the bigger picture, and that is fixing the economy. That being said, looking closer at interest rates, when we look at 10-year yields, they're still back down here at these 160 levels from a yield standpoint, so the prices are still quite high. When we look at the 30-year levels, we see that the 30-year levels actually are still up around the 280 basis point level, or back at the 280 basis point level, keeping those prices high as well. Look for minor fluctuations in prices on the Treasury futures. Any fluctuation back, I would certainly be a buyer. It's going to be very short moves. It's going to be very small incremental moves, and I think those are the moves that you have to look for at this point while paying attention to the headlines coming out of Washington, D.C. Please give me a call at 888-596-5817 and we can discuss these opportunities and others. As always, remember, futures trading is not suitable for everyone and does carry a high degree of risk.